Okay, so we're gonna call this your first 15 minutes in FL. You've just downloaded or you've just got the deal from someone you have the interest to learn. So when you just open, maybe sometimes you just come empty like this. Okay, there will be nothing here, it just comes like this. All right, so don't worry, don't panic. This will be your main windows, and there's this view meter here. It's known as the hint panel. Whatever you put your cursor on, it's gonna tell you exactly where you are. You are not going to get lost in FL. When you hover it here, you can see play, pause, stop, record. So your main windows are supposed to be here. Okay, so when you put our cursor here, this is view playlist. If you open, just left click, you open playlist, piano roll, step sequencer, view channel rack, channel rack, and then we have our mixer here. Then we have our browser where we basically find our samples and plugins. Okay, so my advice for the first few days, let's say for the first 2 days or so, this guy is supposed to be your best friend here. This is the tempo. You can tell the tempo, like the current tempo, by just looking at this. Even when you hover it, it's going to tell you the name there on the corner is tempo. Okay, so you can either increase by just scrolling with your mouse wheel, or you can just drag up or drag down. Okay, then to test the current tempo where you are, you just light this guy. It's known as a metronome. Sometimes they know, so they call it a counter. Okay, it's going to tell you how fast the project is. Okay, let's just light this and then we'll just press play. So this where we are is on 120 BPM for now. So it's according to how your idea is. Do you want to create a fast track or slow track? For now, let me just make an illustration of, let's say we have a 94 BPM. I just lowered the tempo by dragging down. Okay, and then I say this guy should be your best friend maybe for the next 2 days or so. Okay, so if he's hidden, if you can't see this guy, you just come here. You just have to master this area, this one, the view channel rack. Basically this is where you put your instrument and your samples that you want to play. It may seem like it's getting too much for now, but just stick with it. I promise you it's gonna get simpler and much fun. Alright, so the first one is the kicker. If you know the concept of music, let's say the drum set, you know, pamangala pale chingoma chikulu pansi, so which is known as a kick, and then there are claps, there are heights, mahayas, there are cymbals, the snare. Alright, so we play here. I'm just left click, I'm adding, and then right click, I delete. Okay, so I can audition. I can use the try and error method according to what the idea you have in your head. Okay, let's kick in our tempo and metronome. Okay, so this is a 4x4 bar. You can hear it's starting its origin. So let me press the first note on the first one. Okay, okay, now we have created a cycle. Okay, let's see what we can make here. It's just try and error. At the end of the day, you're gonna get your rhythm and you know where exactly you want your cursor to be. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Let's put in our hi-hats. Let me not use shortcuts for now. I'll just paint in every after one. Snare, where is that? Okay, somewhere there. Okay, I'm plotting whilst I'm listening. I don't really know what I want to make now. Okay. Okay, so this is a basic drum set. Now I'm hearing some chords which I want to plot. So to add an instrument on this rack, you just right click anywhere and then say insert down here. You look for, so all of these are mine. If you have a basic FL, you just have few, but me, I've installed some third-party VST plugins, as we call them. That's why you can see there are many. Excuse me. All right, so I just want a normal keys, which is keyboard. Okay, that is it. Let me hear my bounce. Okay, now I want to find a space where I can write in some codes. So what I'll do, I'll highlight my sample or my plugin here and go here where it's written piano raw, so that it can give me a space to write in or to enter my data there. Or the shortcut is just to right click and say piano raw, which is the first option here. Okay, so it's according to the idea which is in your mind. All right, so I'm hearing these chords. I'm hearing this chord. By the way, the same principle allows as in on a rack. You write your note by left clicking and you delete by right clicking on the note. Okay, so when you write, you can edit it. You can lengthen it or shortening it by holding the far end. All right, so I'm hearing such a famous chord. That famous chord goes like, okay. Chord. Okay, so this is my bass note, but if you have got some music theory of some sort, you can relate. You can make what is known as a triad. So I want to make a basic chord. By the way, there are various tools which I'm not going to get into. This is a draw and this is a selector, and then I'll just go on left click, hold and drag. Then I'll just, this is G, so I have to make sure even on top where I'm putting it's a G. Okay. Nice. Your first beat in FL. If I want the same instrument, I can just right click, insert and look for it, or use the shortcut which is right click and clone. Okay, clone. Okay, so what I will do is just normal computer procedure. You just right click on an instrument, you go on copy, you right click on an instrument that you brought in, you say paste. So whatever was here, I've brought them here. All right, so I'll just mute here these buttons, the green ones, muting or solo. Let me just mute so that I can hear my new code, and then I'm going to mess with my new code so that I play something else. Okay, yes, okay, just the same thing. I want it to repeat even here. Okay, I've just copied the same and then I want it to play on the lower edges. Not that one. Okay, just this one. Good. Add our original sound. Okay, so we go into our library, the browser window. I just want some strings, that's all. Some of these things, don't mind me, you know them as time goes on. I just want a sustained chord. Again, to get into Piano Raw, you can click here, or can just right click on a plugin and just say Piano Raw. So I'm hearing a sustained chord. This one, I'm hearing this guy here. Let's just reduce some channel volume. I just want him to sustain. Yeah. And then also the high octave and the low register. Okay. Okay, let me also get into guitar patch. By the way, this comes with FL. I don't want to use any third-party plugins. That's why I'm just choosing something from FL. From there, would even evoke the power of the bass line. And what I'll do, I'll just emulate the lower chord from the whole progression. Yeah. Your first beats in FL. What I advise is for you to learn this. Once you have learned the tools here, just get one of your favorite songs and then try to practice on it. I'm telling you, by the end of 6 weeks, you'll be amazed to the progress that you have made. Let me just add one thing and then we call it a day. See you next time. If you be more interested in one-on-one